Hello everyone, welcome to the new class. Up till the previous class, we discussed about catalysis. My major small explanation was used there for catalysis because that was a cancelled topic. We had discussed about some catalysis scenarios and how a shape selective catalyst is useful in bigger industry. Today's topic of discussion is actually a relevant one, colloid. The topic is about colloid. So what is a colloid? We know that there are some things which are present in our uh, chemistry level of studying, that we have something which is known as solutions, right? Solutions are those things which are which could be majorly heterogeneous or homogeneous systems. Mainly they are homogeneous system, definitely. And there are some other type of substances which gets settled down when are put in water. Like if we are putting sand inside in the water, then they just settle down. Okay, that is actually known by the name suspension. So we have solutions and we have suspensions, but in between solutions and suspensions there are some certain substances that come in between solution and suspension, because we cannot say that all substances can form a solution or all substances can form a suspension. So there are something that are present between this solution and this suspension. That thing that is present, that's a margin that is present between this solution and suspension, is known by the name colloids. Substances which are present in a margin is known as colloid. So what is actually a colloid? Colloid is nothing but a type of system, heterogeneous system we would say, because both the substances are of either different state of matter or are of different properties, have different properties. So colloid are those heterogeneous substances where one substance is dispersed as fine particles in another substance. One substance is dispersed as fine particles in another substance. Means there are some substances which are present in smaller particles in another substance. Now we had studied in our chapter solutions about one thing, that solution has two parts. One is the solute, another is the solvent. Solute is the one which is present in smaller amount, solvent is the one which is present in larger amount. Similar to this scenario, we have the colloids which resemble this particular scenario. As we told now, colloids are such substances which are where they are dispersed, the smaller particles are dispersed in some other particles. So definitely smaller particles will be dissolved in larger particles. So there will be larger particles also in colloid and smaller particles also in colloid. The substance which is present in lesser amount, or those which are dispersed in a solution, or those which are present in a smaller amount, are known as dispersed phase. Those substances which are present in smaller amount are known as dispersed phase. They are known as colloids. They are actually colloids. They are substances which are present in smaller amount, and there are substances which are present in larger amount, or substances in which this dispersed phase are present. It is known as the dispersion medium. This is known as the dispersion medium. Substances which is present in smaller amount is dispersed phase. Substances which is present in larger amount is dispersion medium. So colloid are those substances which are actually a heterogeneous system where dispersed particles are present in some substances. Substances which are dispersed or present in smaller amount are known as dispersed phase. Substances which are present in larger amount or where the dispersed phase is present is known as the dispersion medium. I hope you understood the concept. Now, speaking of which, colloid has a range of size. It has a range of 1 nanometer size to the size of 1000 nanometer. 1 nanometer, we know that the size of 1 nanometer is 10 to the power minus 9 meter, right? So its size varies from 1 nanometer or 10 to the power minus 9 meter to 1000 nanometer, or we can say as 10 to the power minus 6 meter. That is the size range of a colloid particle, or the diameter of the colloid particle. Clear? Now, colloids can also be classified just like solutions we had classified on the basis of how they are mixed together, or we had classified the catalysis. If you had read the particular topic catalysis, then it is classified on the basis of the state of matter of the reactant as well as the catalyst. Here we will study three basic classification of colloids. Colloids classified into three bases. So we will discuss one by one. The very first basis of classification is based on the physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. We know that physical state or state of matter are of three types: solid, liquid, gas. So we will discuss the dispersion medium being solid, liquid, gas, and dispersion medium, dispersed phase being solid, liquid, gas, and dispersion medium of solid, liquid, gas. Remember one thing always, that dispersion medium and dispersed phase and dispersion medium both cannot be gas. Such thing do not exist in a colloid. They are actually not colloid. We know that this is actually a mixture. Gas, it is definitely a mixture which is known as air, right? So dispersed phase and dispersion medium cannot form a combination of gas, but all other combination are possible. How many combinations could be possible? If the dispersion medium is solid, then dispersed phase is solid, then dispersion medium it could be solid, liquid, gas. So one, two, three scenarios. And if dispersion medium is liquid, then dispersed phase is liquid, then dispersion medium can again be solid, liquid, gas, again three scenarios. But I said for gas to gas scenario is not possible. So if we consider gas, the scenario will only there for solid and liquid. So in total we have 3 plus 3 plus 2, 8 cases or 8 types of colloids on the basis of physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. We will discuss them one by one. This is the table. This is the table, and we need to know what are the major scenarios. Suppose dispersed phase is solid. We will discuss one by one. Dispersion phase is solid, then it will be known as solid sol, the name of that colloid. You can see the solid sol in various cases like colored gas. There are some examples, some gemstones, like you say that राशि पत्थर जिसे आप कहते हो, gemstones, they are example of solid salt. So solid and liquid, it is known as salt, solid and liquid. Paint is a good example of salt. Cell fluid, the fluid which is present in the cells, it is also a good example of salt. Solid gas, it is actually known as aerosol. You see the solid, because of the presence of dispersed phase, all got the name salt, right? So it is easy to understand what is a salt very easily, except there is an aerosol in case of liquid gas. Solid gas is also a aerosol. So aerosol for liquid gas scenario is smoke, dust. This is an example of solid present in the gas, right? So dispersed phase, as we told, this is our present in smaller particle. Dispersion medium are those which are present in larger particles. Now if dispersed phase has liquid present in them, dispersed phase of liquid solid is known as gel. We know about gel. Cheese is type of gel, butter is a type of gel, jelly, we eat jelly as candies also. There are many type of chewing gums and all, toffees and candies that are present in jellies, and also sometimes jellies are found in cookies or biscuits also. Liquid to liquid is known as emulsion. Milk is the best example of that. Hair cream, and also the what we say as shaving cream, all that come in the emulsion category. Liquid gas, aerosol, it is also known as aerosol, but its example is quite different. Fog, mist, cloud, insecticide sprays. Fog and mist, kohara, which we say. Mist means dhundlapan, that is found in the morning, during the mornings, early mornings. Cloud, insecticide sprays, all these come under the example of liquid gas, aerosol. Then speaking further, if the dispersed phase is gas solid cause the scenario of solid because dispersed the solid has more present importance there. Some of these example: pumice, stone, foam rubber, these are some examples. And gas liquid, it's a good example of foam, the soap lather, the झाग जिसे हम कहते हैं. Then whipped cream in the sense the cream which is been obtained from milk, malai in the sense. Froth, it is also a type of झाग actually. So these are the types of what we say different types of colloid, mainly 8 types of colloid on the basis of the physical state of matter of solid dispersion phase, dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Clear? Now if we discuss further, uh, there is one more category. We had discussed about one category of colloid, which is actually about the physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So that was one classification of colloid on the basis of what we say as physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Next category comes under the classification on the basis of nature of interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Means what type of interaction the dispersed phase and dispersion medium has in between. That type of interaction comes under this scenario. Now we can say that colloidal solutions are coming under two types on the basis of this interaction. One category is the lyophilic solutions, another category is the lyophobic solution. One category is the lyophilic another category is lyophobic. Suppose the dispersion medium is water, it will be known as hydrophilic and hydrophobic if the dispersion medium is water. If the dispersion medium is water, it will be known as hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Anyway, if we discuss it, what is a lyophilic colloid and lyophobic colloid, we have to understand one thing. Lyo means actually liquid. This is actually derived from two words, lyo, which means liquid, and philia. Philia means love or attraction. So we can say lyophilic solutions or lyophilic colloids are those which are liquid loving or which loves the liquid, which has attraction towards the liquid. It can be easily obtained. Such type of colloidal solution can be easily obtained. You just need to mix some substances like gum, gelatin, etc. into a dispersion medium, and when you mix that, you will get the lyophilic solution. The main important thing to understand from here is that you can just separate out the dispersed phase and dispersion medium present in the lyophilic colloids. We can easily separate them out. Also, you can easily mix them also. Suppose I have this gum present in my dispersed phase and I have water as the dispersion medium. I can mix them both together, no problem. I can separate also them both together. Just evaporation process is required for that, because water can be evaporated easily. So because of this process, they can be mixed, remixed, separated. Because of this process, such type of lyophilic colloids are also known by the name reversible salts. They are known as reversible salts and they are very much stable. This type of salts are very much stable but the problem with them is they cannot be easily coagulated. So what is coagulation we will study later. It is been in this discussed in this chapter. So what are the main important things that you must notice? Lyophilic means liquid loving. Their dispersed phase and dispersion medium can be separated, mixed easily. They can be separated easily. Because of that process, this type of salts are known as reversible salts. They are quite stable and they cannot be easily coagulated. That is what we can say about lyophilic colloids. Now, lyophobic colloids, what it could be? Same thing. Lyo means water. Sorry, lyo means liquid. Phobia. What do you mean by phobia? Phobia means fear, right? Specifically speaking, phobia means fear. Here, phobia actually means hating, because as we had discussed about loving, we must discuss about its opposite. Hating means no attraction towards water. So such type of colloids, they cannot form the colloidal solution just simply by simple methods. By simple methods they cannot be made. Such type of solutions cannot be made. Colloids can be made. They need some special methods to be used. They need some special methods also. uh, because of this special method to be used, they are known as lyophobic salts. And being explained, one thing we had discussed about earlier one, it cannot be easily coagulated, but this thing can be easily coagulated or precipitated. If we add some amount of electrolyte, just shake it, then we can easily coagulate them. But they are unstable. This is stable, this is unstable. This is a non coagulant, this is coagulant. It can be coagulated, they cannot be, no, they cannot be coagulated. They are reversible. Who? Lyophilic. But since this type of solution, or what we can say lyophobic solutions, do not gives back the same, because they, since they use special methods to be produced, they do not give back the same solution again. They are irreversible solution, and lyophilic are reversible solution. So that's the difference between lyophobic solution and lyophilic solution. I hope you understood the concepts. Okay, right. Now the third category of colloids which is to be understood is on the basis of classification of dispersed phase. On the basis of the classification of dispersed phase. Dispersed phase particles can be of different sizes. They can be of multimolecular, they can be macromolecular, they can be of associated colloids. So on the basis of the size of uh, depending upon the type of the dispersed part phase, we can say there are three types of colloids. One is the multimolecular, another one is the macromolecular, last one is the associated colloid. Okay, so what are these actually? Multimolecular colloids are something which are actually of larger sizes or aggregate to form a size of colloid range, which means it has a diameter of less than 1 nanometer. Such type of solution uh, are actually known by the name multimolecular colloid. Like for example, gold salt solution of gold with some other liquid. Such type of solution is coming under this category, multimolecular colloid. Also sulfur salt, they also come under such category, because they need more larger number of particles of various different sizes. Okay, second one is the macromolecular colloid. Actually there is a chapter regarding this topic, macromolecular colloid. If it is not cancelled, then we will definitely discuss about it. Anyway, macromolecular colloids are something that also come under this colloidal range, and they are of macromolecule size, means size that can be at least seen, somewhat seen. Like for example, starch, cellulose, they are natural macromolecules, and some man-made like polythene, nylon, polystyrene, they are man-made macromolecules. So they are actually known as macromolecular colloids. Next one, the point of discussion which we will discuss about tomorrow, because it is to be discussed how this thing is formed. Associated colloid. Associated colloid is something, actually it is of a dual nature substance. When it is found in a low concentration, it will act as a strong electrolyte. In case of lower concentration, it will act as a stronger electrolyte. But in case of a higher concentration, if it is used in a higher concentration amount, it will at that time only exhibit colloidal behavior, because it will have these aggregates present in them, or the uh, uh, extra particles present in them, and that extra aggregated particles are actually known as micelles. That extra aggregated particles are actually known by the name micelles. Okay, so as I told you, micelles are formed, or this particular aggregates are formed in higher concentration. So the concentration or the amount of formation for or the formation of the micelle is done when it will have a concentration very much higher. There will be a particular concentration with very much higher concentration at that, at what at a particular time, where it will have, it will form micelle, and that is known by the name that concentration is known by the name critical micelle concentration, CMC. Critical micelle concentration is actually that particular concentration or above that particular concentration where the micelle is formed, and it will be found only a temperature higher than a particular temperature, or only above a particular temperature, which is known as the Kraft temperature. So these are the two main things that you must understand about associated colloids. One thing you must know is, lower concentration, the associated colloids are nothing but electrolytes, but when they come in higher concentration, they act as colloid, because they will have this extra aggregate present in them, which are known as micelles. That's why they are known as associated colloids. So these micelles are formed in a higher particular concentration, which is above a particular concentration, which is known as critical micelle concentration, and it is always formed above a particular temperature, which is known as Kraft temperature. Okay, that's all about this particular topic. The homework what we had studied today about colloids and its types, you will write the notes on your own. It is simple, you can make the notes by your own. So write the notes as soon as possible, study properly, and take care of yourself at your house, and also your relatives and your and the family members which are at your houses. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.